Hi Starsky, here we are, Superbooth 24. I'm Alan from AJH Synth, and I'd just like to give you the backstory to the Radiophonic synth, which is the instrument that we have on display here. Hans Zimmer has been using the mini-mod system of ours for some years now, and has used it on quite a few of his movies. And I was quite surprised and delighted to get a call from Hans towards the end of last year, and he told me that along with a consortium of friends, he's purchased the Maida Vale studios in London from the BBC, and of course most of you probably know that this was home of the iconic BBC Radiophonic Workshop, which sadly was closed in 1998. And so Hans's dream now that he's established the purchase of Maida Vale, is to recreate the Radiophonic Workshop at its original location on the original site. And he called me and said that, well, one of the things that he needs for the workshop is a modular synthesizer that's really a 21st century recreation, but something that harks back to the history of the workshop. So it was total and utter honour and quite a big surprise that Hans chose us to make this iconic instrument for him. Really, the design of it, Hans had quite a part in the layout of it, and if I walk you through the layout, we have two. It was designed to be two voice, and each of the voices. So we have voice one in the top layer and voice two in the second. And the idea of it is that it can both be stereo voices, because Hans obviously composes for cinema, and you have speakers either side of the cinema and a huge space in between, which Hans describes as his play area, and that's where he places everything. And so it was very important to him that both of the monosynths had stereo capability. So hence rather than one filter per, we have two filters, two VCAs, and lots of envelopes. And of course, with the VCFs, with it being modular and having an open architecture, we're not limited to a ladder filter on that voice. We could have a diode ladder filter. We could have the SVF filter from the Gemini. So the idea was that it created two stereo monosynths, and the lower banks that we have here, bank 3 really is the modulation sources. So that we have two of our complex tap tempo LFO and VCAs, and then we have two of our dual LFOs. So that gives us a complement of 6 LFOs. And then we have another module that was very important in Hans's opinion, was the triple crossfader and panner, because with that, again, it's all about movement. It's all about creating crossfades and movements in the stereo field, and this allows both panning and crossfading simultaneously for stereo sources. So that again was the reason it takes central place, is that it's intended to be used with both voices. And some of the other elements that Hans added were the row of hardware multiples, because I mean, people that are conversant with Eurorack now probably realise that you can use stack and patch cables, and you can use the little star multis and things, and with both of those, it just creates a spaghetti of patch cables. And the idea of the old school hardware multis, whether it just reduces the amount of cabling and it makes the layout more logical. So the synth itself, the original Radiophonic, is now with Hans in his London studio, awaiting ready to take its place in the Radiophonic Workshop when eventually the BBC leave the workshop and they can start the conversion works. So one of the things that he did say, we originally built this just as a one-off synth for Hans. But then he said, well, why not produce a limited number of replicas? And this is replica number 001. We're producing a limited edition of synths, and they're all built to order, and we've opened a waiting list for it, and we've already had quite a few expressions of interest in the synth itself. It isn't cheap, but having said that, it's a very, very iconic instrument, and it's just such a great honour to be part of the new Radiophonic workshop.
So big question is, when do I get my hands on one?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love you to have one, so we'll most certainly be coming your way, and you can set up some patches and have some fun with the Stasi. I'd absolutely love that. I mean, it's you did such a great job with the mini mod keys review, and you seem to enjoy that, so I'm sure you'll enjoy this one too.
Certainly will. Yeah. Thanks very much.
Thank you.